I am delighted to have a brand new guest with us today of a musical flavour, which we'll get into that, and is Cambel McLaughlin. Campbell, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me, Peter.
No, great to have you on. And I've seen, obviously, the second Jam for Freedom Festival is coming up. And obviously, people can find it there, jamforfreedom.com. And at Jam for Freedom is the Twitter or X handle. And that is from the 8th to the 11th of August in St. Albans. We'll get into all of that. But I just wanted to make sure the viewers and listeners were aware that all the links are in the description. But if you are around and want to have a great time, 3-4 days with a great musical lineup, then go check out the website, have a look, and be part of looks like an amazing 3-4 days. And it was Fred Fairbrass actually messaged me and said, "Hey, you need to have Cambel on." I said, "Oh yes, Cambel. Yeah, I've seen the event last year, Jam for Freedom. So it's great to have you on, Cambel." But before we get into that, before we get into your arrest in 2021, which is a mark that quite a number of people now carry of standing up against the authoritarian regime. Before that, do you want to just give us a little bit of your background, introduce yourself before we get on to Jam for Freedom?
Yeah, thank you. I'm 29 years old. I was 25 years old when I started what then became the Jam for Freedom in 2020. I traveled for a few years, playing as a musician, working as an English teacher in Australia, Japan, and on a cruise ship. Lived in London. I've kind of been around. Really proud of my country. Really proud of, what this country means and the freedoms we have and our heritage. And just traveling abroad really cemented that as a young man. And so coming back and moving to London in 2018, I think I was about maybe 23, 24 at that time. As I said, really, really proud to be from here, and just was like, right, I'm going to work really hard. I'm going to start focusing on my music as well on the side. And so I started busking in London, and I was doing really well. I was, making a really good bit of change. And it's really rewarding, when you're jumping on the streets busking. It's kind of like the harder you work, the better you work, the more money you make. And the crowds were getting big in Leicester Square, in Trafalgar Square, which is where I was performing around Christmas time and other times. So it's really fun, and I saved all my money, and then I put all my savings into starting like a weddings band. We filmed everything, I auditioned everybody. We had a really good lineup, loads of different singers and sax players. And, it was like a 9-piece band or something like that. And then it was March 2020, and it was just, I was just about to launch it all. And then all of a sudden there's this flu apparently, and everything must stop. And so that kind of confused me, because I thought, this is just a flu, right? It's just going to be a couple months. Okay, I'll just work from home or whatever for a bit.
Okay. Campbell, can I throw in that this is exactly the same issue? We started 20th of February 2020, exactly the same. All these great plans that get burned and you have to start over. So I understand exactly your feeling at that time.
Yeah, and I just still kept that hunger. I was still like, I'm not going to let this stop me. And so I started this project called The Outside Jam around June time. And it was just basically me going around with all my busking gear in a park in East London where I lived, and just bringing a party, and people would come from the area and just party in the park, and just, families, it was family friendly. We were just trying to just raise people's spirits. We weren't really, I just believed it was just going to be a few months of people just getting over this little flu. And then, obviously the governments were planning to do a lot more than that. But then it evolved, and we kept doing that every week. And I got musicians from all over London would come in and perform and jam, and, people would share the microphones, and no one was really getting sick, which was funny. And then as the lockdowns intensified in December 2020, then I changed the name of it to Outside Jam to Jam for Freedom. And then on the day of the so-called lockdowns on December 20th, which was when the whole of the UK was locked down, I was like, no, we're gonna do Jam for Freedom. And then I did the first one in a park. Same concept, busking, musicians coming out. Although less musicians wanted to join in at that point. It was just a handful of, it was really just one other drummer. So then I had to learn how to kind of sing a bit. So it was just me. I was normally the drummer. Was forced into all these different roles that I had never done before. And then I thought, you know what, let's take this a step further. Let's travel across our beautiful country and go wherever we want, on the streets, in the parks, and let's jam for freedom there, and let's get musicians from all over, and let's try and make it international. Let's try and make all the countries of the world go out on the streets and jam for freedom. Let's do it all together on the same day, the same week. Let's make a movement. And I just kept pushing for that idea, and eventually we did go on a UK tour. We fundraised a little bit of money to get a motorhome that a few of us could sleep in and shower in, because at that point you couldn't even go to a hotel, right? To even you couldn't book in hotels anywhere. So we did that, and from December, then the tour kicked off in January, and then it's just been going on for like 3 years or 3.5 years, I suppose. And then we have got international chapters now, and people are jamming for freedom in different countries, and 15 international chapters, and it's just kind of developed into this festival where we really want to celebrate musicians, the free-thinking individuals and creatives and positive change makers and thinkers and workshop hosts and comedians, and that's what we have at our festival this year. So it's a massive lineup.
Sounds a world away from busking. Do you ever miss the simplicity of just going out busking and just doing that yourself?
Yeah, it was funny. I mean, when I was always busking, I did feel a bit like, because you're playing the popular songs, you're playing the Hollywood trendy stuff, and it always felt a bit like, I don't want to play this forever. I want to write my own music. I want to make something different, and so I couldn't really go back to it now, because I kind of just doesn't feel right to me. But I mean, it wasn't yesterday. 2 days ago, we did a gig in support of press freedoms and Julian Assange. So we played outside the courtroom there, and we kind of just freestyle. So we might play like Another Brick in the Wall by Roger Waters, and then we might just adjust the lyrics, about certain things. So yeah, I mean, we might use old songs and then freestyle it. So we kind of have that element of what busking was and the simplicity, but we just kind of bring it and adjust it, I suppose.
I mean, it sounds like a very natural thing for a musician to want to share their music, but obviously 2021 I followed in, and you got arrested. What was your crime?
Yeah, so that was part of the UK tour, and that was in February 2021. That was our first UK tour with the motorhome, and I got arrested and accused. I mean, there was a few hundred people of us in a park having a good time, and I think it was organized. It wasn't organized by me, but it was organized, I don't know, maybe a few days before. Everyone, let's go to this park in East London and West London. And so I turned up there with some amps and my drum kit, and an Irish guitarist called Alan, and some other musicians jumped on, and it was just me and a few other people that I had personally invited. But I got arrested and accused of organizing the whole thing, which I didn't. And then I went to court, and I was like, I didn't do it all. I just posted about it the night before. Hey, let's jam for freedom here. And then it got stamped on me. So yeah, that was really sad, because, well, it was a bit eye-opening, because one of the reasons I started Jam for Freedom is because of my skepticism of governments and their corruption and what they're doing to Europe, and what they've done to the world and what they're still doing. And so it was kind of like, oh yeah, I was right, because the judge was interrupting me. He wouldn't let me finish. He was saying, oh, did you write your speech? Did you write your, I can't remember what it's called, your testimony, or, my defense, or
yeah, your statement, your defense. Yeah.
Yeah, my statement. Did you write that? Oh, because I was quoting as well previous like law suits or litigation which proved that it wasn't a crime, um, which was all valid, and he was interrupting me and telling me, "Oh, that's not relevant," and even quoting like the English Constitution and talking about the right to petition, which is in the Commonwealth countries. You have
Mhm.
a right to protest, and that supersedes all the other laws to a degree, right? As long as you're not disturbing peace, which I wasn't. You know, we I just I didn't organize it. At the end of the day, whatever they were accusing me of, it wasn't true, but they just slapped it on me and I got fined. They tried to fine me for 10 grand, but we got it reduced down to about 700 and odd quid. I still got a criminal conviction for jamming in a park with like 5 other people for about half an hour. you know, but it's just happened that a few hundred people had already organized and planned to go there before even the music was on the schedule.
But it's
Yeah,
that court appearance. It's bonkers because it's what we've seen certainly over the last 4 years. It's the establishment looking down, and I mean, how dare you are able to put something together in your defense? You're just a pleb, and you're speaking to someone in the system, in the criminal system, who is of a higher echelon in society. And I think we've seen that attitude across the board in the last 4 years.
yeah. It's just kind of ingrained in you know that kind of culture and the imperialist
Mm.
ideas. You have to squash the rebellions, but I don't really care about what they think and how they view me and what their views are, because I believe that what we do is far more powerful, far more beautiful, and it's a celebration, and you can't stop it. You can't stop us celebrating and having a good time and connecting and spreading the truth.
Yeah.
So it's never going to stop me, and they can be whatever they want to be. It doesn't matter. We're going to keep going.
Well, let me bring up. This is the there we go. That is the poster with a lot happening, and you've packed a heck of a lot in, and you can just see that. Obviously, August 8th to the 11th. Let me repeat that in St Albans, and all the. If you go onto your Twitter page or the website, everything is there. But I mean, tell us about the event. Tell us about what you want to happen, maybe your experiences from the first event, what you've learned. Just yeah, tell us about the first one. What was that like, and what were your takeaways from it?
Um, well, yeah, I mean, our schedule this year is incredible. You can jump on our website, and we've got the whole schedules there. 4 pages of 4 different days. There's over 150 different artists and performances, and pantomime, comedians, panelists, workshops every morning, and much more. So jump on there, and you can see that poster in detail. Yeah, well, it was. I mean, I did festivals in my garden growing up. I don't have a big garden; it's just like a council house garden. But my mum was uh, really kind and let us all get together. So I've always done festivals since I was a teenager, and I just love that energy of just people getting together that maybe wouldn't have like hung out before, but they're just kind of like meshing, and they're kind of just getting on, sharing a beer. I like seeing unity and peace in the world. I think we all do, really. Um, and so yeah, it's been on my mind to put on a festival for years, and then with Jam for Freedom happening, it was part of my plan. Okay, I'm going to put on a festival as soon as I can to celebrate what we're doing. Um, and last year we did it for the first time. It sold out. It was amazing. It was very challenging. We worked for many months to kind of get everything sorted in time, and fly in guests and organize their travel and organize accommodation and organize, there's so many things that are going on. Yeah, it could have been a lot better. We did hire, we hired a production team, and they put a main stage together which didn't work, essentially. And we were like, you're going to come and fix this, and they were like, yeah. And then they were like, oh, actually, we're going to refund you. And then I
Wow.
took them to court because they didn't give me a refund. And then, I mean, they had really good testimonials and clients. I don't know what the hell happened. Took them to court twice, and I won on both hearings. And they were then hit with 2 county court judgments. But they didn't pay me any refund or any compensation, and it was a lot of money that they owed me. So I had to kind of shoulder all of that responsibility and that difficulty. But we had an amazing volunteer team, an amazing team that we kind of put together, like in the moment, like, right, okay, we're going to make a new stage in this marquee, and we basically adapted to the whole situation. But obviously, when stuff like that happens, we had delays. But this year, we've got Right Said Fred's chosen production team, who they've worked with on tours, and they've worked with massive artists like #1 chart and topping artists, and they're called Absolute Audio Hire. So they're managing the whole production this year of the main stage, which is where all the big stuff happens. And then we've got an amazing production team that's going to help run the second stage. So that was really challenging. But what could I do? I hired a company, paid them a lot of money, and they scammed me, and I took them to court. Then they folded their company and went into administration. So it's just all these things. The site we used as well, they didn't take care of the site. We tried to take them to court, but they had already closed their company, and they were scamming people, and it was just a shame. But our new site has it's got tons of space. It's got enough for 5,000 people, but we're keeping it nice and intimate, about 500 people. And it's gorgeous. It's got like a river running through it. It's a stone's throw from London and like Luton and Heathrow airports. So it's super accessible for guests from all over. So yeah, but it was an amazing time. Overall, it was, I've got so many emails like, this was amazing, best festival ever, I can't wait to come back. Most people have come back from last year, and we're just getting through our last tickets now.
But tell us that organizational side, because I've been an events coordinator back donkeys ago and organized fairly sizable events. But when you look at the number of individuals you have participating, it's one thing to organize a conference with maybe 6 or 8 speakers during the day. You've got a whole page full, and that's a world away from simply doing the music. Now you've got all the organizational side you have to arrange. And I think that most people, when they come to that, they have no idea really of the work that goes on behind the scenes. So I'm sure whenever it was finished, you were, oh, it's happened. It's done. I can put my feet up now.
Yeah, I was proud of it. You have that stress, but you have the pride that you've done it. I mean, I guess from playing on I'm a bit seasoned for the pressures and the stress from playing on the streets and having police follow you and try and arrest you, and to stay calm and deal with that pressure. I mean, we had gigs when there was like 24, 27 riot police vans just encircling us, and it becomes a bit of a military operation, because you have to kind of work out, right, okay, how long can we play for before we think they're going to come at us? Okay, let's do one more song, and okay, you've got that drum, you've got that speaker, you're ready to go if we need to beeline out of here, and we've done that stuff. So it becomes like it became kind of like second nature to deal with that pressure, and also these musicians that we work with. I mean, I know most of them, like I've played with them, I've toured with them, I know them all, like. And I have an amazing volunteer team and like amazing staff that have worked with me and toured with these artists. So there's loads of cross-pollination with all these musicians from across the world, across England and the UK, that we all kind of know each other, and we all kind of have got used to that pressure of the Jam for Freedom gigs and kind of everything goes on with it. But yeah, it's well with the speakers. I mean, we've done like almost 500 over 500 shows across the world, and that's led to all these different people that I've met and slept at their houses and on their sofas and their spare rooms, and they're all part of the festival. So it's a real massive community of people from America, Ireland, Europe, etc. There's a guy, I think we've got some Australians coming that are just happening to be in England this year that have done Jam for Freedom shows. So yeah, it's intense, but at the end of the day, it's a beautiful experience, and it's a beautiful community. And yeah, I just hope you guys can all come. We've got really limited tickets now, so jump on and get the last few.
Yeah, 100%. We're doing this just a day before it goes out, but certainly I'll repeat, everyone go and get tickets and make sure you're part of that. Tell us about the people you met. I mean, to me, actually, the last 4 years, learning experience for me, media. You're obviously doing these massive events, and it's all about the people you meet, and they're phenomenal people who maybe you wouldn't have crossed before because you're doing one area and they're maybe in a different area. Traditionally, you may not have crossed paths, but because of what we faced in the last 4 years, it's kind of standing shoulder to shoulder with people who you may not agree with everything, but actually there's a lot you can work together on. And that issue of freedom, free speech, freedom to assembly, all of that. Yeah, let us know some of those people like you've also got the Freds there, and I remember thinking this is surreal on the phone chatting to Fred or Richard, on and on. I think this is just the strangest experience, but this is what I think the last 4 years have opened up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was busking on the streets in central London, so I was getting a lot of people following me on social media, and I think I had like Pixie Lot, who's an English singer. She like retweeted my video or something. But yeah, it wasn't any. I'm a lad from a council house, and I don't have any famous family or anything. So, I mean, having tea with Eric Clapton at his house, that was pretty wild. Because I'm kind of nervous. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, this is just in his wife and meeting his family, and because he put us in his so Eric Clapton, if people don't know, he we used to do loads of live streams. So our shows we'd live stream across the world in the lockdowns, and people would tune in and give them a bit of hope and something to enjoy, and sometimes they'd pop down and be part of the live stream. Eric was following our live streams, and when he saw what happened to us in Hyde Park one time when the police ambushed us and damaged some of our equipment and pushed people over, and I think it was in March, maybe it was April 2021. So he was watching that. He donated to help us repair some equipment, and then we had a car that was donated, a little people carrier, a little cheapo vehicle. There was a problem with that. It got written off. Then I said, Eric, can we borrow a van or something? And he lent us a tour bus basically. So I went and met him, got the tour bus. He's just a big fan of us, and he was writing music whilst watching our live streams. He wrote like the guitar solo to Where Have All the Rebels Gone, which he did with Van Morrison. I mean, that was pretty cool to have like Clapton be a fan of what we do, and hang out with him and go to a studio, completely unexpected, because I'm a drummer, and his drummers and the drummers that he played with are like people I based all my playing on. So yeah, I mean, there's others as well. I mean, just when we go on tour, and I remember when we went into Edinburgh, and we do our gig, and then we go halfway through, by the way, we don't have anywhere to stay tonight, could someone put us up? And it just always worked. And so I just never thought, I don't need to plan where I know someone's got a spare room or a sofa. And this couple put us up, and the woman, beautiful house, so we got the proper like Scots hospitality. It was just, we were so blessed. The wife was an ex-head teacher, still teaching, and then the husband was like an oil rig engineer, kind of supervisor type role. He would I don't know, they were smart, really, really smart people. And that was the thing, is we'd meet all kinds of people, from all walks of life that, perhaps I wouldn't have really kind of
Sure.
got on with, or maybe had much common ground with. But all of a sudden we had this common ground because we were all in it together to spread that message out there on the streets and in the parks, and have a good time. When the police would come up to me and go, excuse, in my ear when I'm playing in Edinburgh, there's a video of it, and the policeman comes up and he goes, I need you to ask people to social distance. And I go, that's not my job, mate. Freedom. I just keep going. We're all in it together. We're all just having a good time. So yeah, been fascinating. And you do meet tons of people on the road, and at the Assange show a couple of days ago, I saw people I hadn't seen in a couple of years, and it's a really nice community. So yeah, good on us all for getting out there and meeting people when we were supposed to just stay in. And as one of my friends, well, he's not a friend anymore, he said I should just sit inside and just eat some biscuits. I'm like, no, I'm going outside. I'm going to go on a tour, mate.
Yeah, screw that idea. I think we've seen a lot of information coming out about the totalitarian regime that we all live under. And so you watch individuals giving speeches. I mean, I know you've got Tess Laurie coming in. I've watched her many times and had her on. But then it's kind of a departure into then looking at comedians and how comedy is used to engage, and then looking at how music is used to engage. And maybe I'm kind of thinking more information. So this is about a speech or a presentation. That's kind of my background in politics and all of that. But this is something very different. Give us an insight of how music then, I guess, captures people in a completely different way than standing up and maybe doing a presentation, which we think, well, that's the way you get a message across.
Yeah. I think it can all be part of the same, it's all part of the same like kind of sphere, I suppose. I mean, I guess when I've, being really proud of my country and being a patriot, and and spending time listening to videos and history and hours and hours and reading, that kind of given me that foundation of going, what, Jam for Freedom is a good idea, and I'm going to do it, back in 2020. So having that foundation of that kind of knowledge, and I'm always learning, you never know enough, do you? But I think that the festival itself is kind of a celebration of how that is how Jam for Freedom started. It started from knowing good knowledge, wanting to know more, wanting to do the right thing, wanting to stay healthy, through watching speeches and reading panels and reading books and presentations and stuff. And then the music is really that kind of icing on the cake, to so to speak, the cherry on top. And so yeah, we need the whole thing. The really good thing about our festival program is it's curated in a way so that in the mornings you have the workshops, which is yoga, Falun Gong, which you might know about, is censored in communist China. So we have all these kind of like, we're trying to bring like indigenous ideas and kind of really help people relax and get healthy. So you've got that in the morning, and then it goes into the panels, and then kind of in between the panels there's a break, and then some of the music starts. So you can see all the panels, you can do all the workshops, and then you can still have like 6, 7, 8, 9 hours of live music and partying, approximately. It might be a little bit, around that time frame. So you can have all of it, and if you don't want to watch maybe one of the panels, well, there's an act on, there's an opera singer on, or there's, you don't want to watch one of the live acts, that's a different flavor, you can just watch some comedy. We've kind of curated it in a way so that you can fit in as much as possible, that you could basically see 90% of it and not miss any of it. So that's my view on it, and that's what we're bringing this year.
Tasman, I want to finish off on the issue of finance, because we live in a world where people are used to getting things for free, whether it's media, news, interviews, music. People now expect everything free, and it's interesting having that conversation with people to point out that actually everything has a cost. And obviously, putting on a festival like this, it doesn't come free unless someone owns a huge castle and wants to put it all on their ground to pay for it. That there are a lot of costs to put it on. Just finish on that, because I think it's important that we who believe in actually freedom buy into it, and that does mean buying into it with the money we have available, as well as our time and publicizing these events.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Where you put your money is where you put your vote, in effect, to the society that you want to build, and in your children's future. So yeah, support Hearts of Oak, and support all the great causes that are close to your heart, because it helps build a better world. And yeah, it is expensive to do what we do, and to do what you do, Peter, with your studio, and and all the costs attached to it. Same with the festival; it's a huge expense. But we keep costs as low as possible, and the food and drinks affordable, and whatever, the tickets support the musicians, pay for their travel, pay for their costs, pay for the comedians, pay for the panelists, pay for the workshops and in the morning, and everything, so you're in effect supporting people that support you, that support a better world. And we need to strengthen that, and we need to be unafraid of creating an alternative economy that can rival the mainstream economy. And I've always championed that. I've never been afraid to think that. And even before I was doing Jam for Freedom, I one Christmas, I think it was the Christmas 2019. I challenged myself, and I said, right, every gift I buy for my family members is going to be made in the UK. And I don't know how much I spent, 300, 400 pounds or something, on all these gifts for my family. And I found it all. I used the sheepskin shoes made in Devon, the soaps made in England, the socks made in Yorkshire, etc., etc. So I've always been a champion of like kind of that that we can build our own economies, that we can put our money where our mouth is. And and with Jam for Freedom, this is a British institution, I suppose. It's a British idea. It started here. Support it. It's grown across the world. We're in talks to do other festivals in other countries. But yeah, support it. Help us grow. And yeah, put your money where your mouth is, guys. And it will come back to bless us all, and bless the future.
Yeah. I'm sorry, one more question, but so last one about, so people are thinking of turning up. They're thinking, actually, I have kids, don't know if they can come. I don't know if I can just come for the day, or if I can stay there, camp there. Kind of, what's the deal with some of those practical questions that people may have?
Yeah. We have day tickets. We have camping tickets. We have tickets for people that live local and want to just pop in each day. We have spaces for camper vans, motorhomes. There's a massive campsite for tents. We have glamping options. So if you just want to come and have a tent all built for you with a proper bed, and it's kind of like it's like a hotel. They're beautiful. That's all there. We do free tickets for children under 12. And if you're a carer of someone that's disabled, then you can come for free. You just need to send us an email, and then we'll just confirm it all. So we do loads of free discounted tickets, and we have a discount code as well for the last 100 tickets, which are on sale now. And that code is Final 100, I believe. Final 100, yeah. You can find that on our social media, and join our mailing list as well, because do loads of shows, and we did a really fun show a couple of days ago for Assange in London, and we do a lot of fun free shows as well. Although I've got a baby now, and I don't live in London anymore, so it's kind of like I live up north, so it's kind of logistically not as easy to put on all the free shows that we used to the last couple of years. But yeah, we're trying to do more. We do other stuff. Like we're sponsoring the Better Way Fair, which is run by World Council for Health, and we're putting on some bands there. We're running a stage, and we've got another gig in Ipswich as well at an organic pub. So get on our mailing list and you can see more. But yeah, please do support the festival. Come along, come and get the final tickets. Support Peter and Hearts of Oak. And if you've got any questions, just drop us an email, drop us a message, because we'd love to have you part of the festival.
Well, wonderful. I hope to see people there. Make sure the viewers and listeners go jamfreedom.com, put your details down there so you can be kept up to date with what is happening, not just the festival, but everything else. And do come and be a part of that in St Albans, just north of London, easy to get to, as Campbell said. And it's the 8th to the 11th, 8th to 12th or 8th to the 11th? What are the days? 8th to the 11th.
Yeah, 8th to the 11th. Yeah.
8th to 11th. Wonderful. Campbell, thank you so much for coming on and sharing. Love what you're doing. It's exciting, bringing people together, like-minded people, and being able to, I guess, connect together, which is what we've been told is bad and you cannot do over the last 4 years. And it's great to see something so against what we were told to do, and something so natural and normal for all of us. So, Campbell, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you, Peter. Yeah, jamforfreedom.com. Check out all the artists. You can listen to their music as well and see the full schedule. So we'll see you soon. Thank you so much, Peter.